Ace Frehley will be forever celebrated for his years with Kiss, the iconic group he co-founded in the 1970s with Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Peter Criss. But Frehley, who died on October 16th at the age of 74 from injuries after a fall at home, will also be remembered for his signature solo hit, New York Groove, released in 1978. That was the year all 4 Kiss members issued solo albums. But only Ace scored a top 20 hit when New York Groove reached number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was especially appropriate since the electric guitarist was a Bronx-born native of the Big Apple. Since then, New York Groove has remained popular in the New York area, where it's become the Mets' signature tune, played at home games to celebrate a win. But as Ace explained, he had one regret about the song. He didn't write it. "A lot of people think I wrote New York Groove," he told Louder in an interview published October 6th. "It's not a myth that I've perpetuated, but that's the way it is. I wish I would have wrote the song, though. I would have made a lot more cash out of it," he said with a laugh. The foot-stomping 3-chord tune was actually written by Russ Ballard, the British songwriter behind hits like Rainbow's 1979 hit, Since You've Been Gone, and God Gave Rock and Roll to You, originally recorded by Argent in 1973 and covered by Kiss, no less, in 1991 as God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too, with modified lyrics. The tune was originally cut by the London-based glam rock band Hello in 1975 and became a number 9 hit in the UK. Strangely, Frehley had no recollection of hearing Hello's version. Frehley said, "New York Groove became forever associated with him after we realized we needed a more commercial song for inclusion on my solo record. To be honest, I actually didn't want to record this song," he told Guitar Player last year. "Eddie Kramer, my producer, introduced me to it. He kept saying to me, 'Ace, you've got to record this song.' And I kept saying, 'I don't think it has anything to do with any of the other songs.' But once we had finished recording a lot of the album in Connecticut, we went down to Manhattan to do the overdubs and vocals, and once we got down there, he finally talked me into doing it." Considering that Ace often stood in Simmons and Stanley's creative shadow, it was a point of pride that he was the only Kiss member to have a solo hit. "I'm starting to come out of my shell, and I'm going to get stronger," he told People in 1980, noting that the song's success gave him some clout in the group. Despite that, he didn't gloat over his achievement. "It didn't feel like I was getting one over on the other guys in Kiss," he remarked to Louder. "It's just something that happened. I was lucky that it came out as good as it did. I never really listened to the other 3 solo records, although I did put Gene's on once. When I heard his version of When You Wish Upon a Star, I had to pull it off the turntable. Ha ha ha!" The tune was originally a children's favorite from the Disney animated film Pinocchio, but in Simmons' hands, it became a cringe-inducing oddity. While New York Groove remains one of Ballard's best-known tunes, he remains a little mystified by its success. "I guess it surprised me because it's so incredibly simple," he says. "They say a good song will always sell. And there's a lot of truth in that."